Today's reading is from the Holy Gospel according to Luke chapter 6, verses 6 to 11. On the Sabbath, Jesus went into the synagogue and began to teach. And a man was there whose right hand was withered. The scribes and the Pharisees were watching him to see if he would cure a man on the Sabbath, hoping to find something to use against him. But he knew their thoughts, and he said to the man with the withered hand, "Stand up, come out into the middle." And he came out and stood there. Then Jesus said to them, "I put it to you, is it against the law on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil? To save life or to destroy it?" Then he looked around at them and said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He did so, and his hand was better. But they were furious and began to discuss the best ways of dealing with Jesus. The Gospel of the Lord. Let us put this reading of the Gospel in perspective. Now, Jesus went to the synagogue. In the synagogue, he was teaching. But when you teach in a synagogue, then you are essentially disrespecting the scribes and the Pharisees, who traditionally are the ones who were given the authority to speak and to teach. Well, in some way, Jesus was disrespecting the tradition in teaching in the synagogue. So obviously, when you disrespect them, they are going to find ways to find fault with you. So of course, they were looking for Jesus to do something wrong and to cure somebody, so that then they would have something to use against him. But Jesus then put them on the spot by asking this question, which was essentially a trick question. He asked them, is it good? Is it okay to do something good or to do something bad on the Sabbath? Now, they kept quiet. At least there's no record of them saying anything in this particular gospel. But it was a trick question, so there was no answer to it. And then he used the fact that they were silent to heal the man. Now, of course, doing something like this would infuriate the scribes and the Pharisees even more, because he embarrassed them. Now, if I've been listening to Brene Brown on Spotify podcasts, and she always interviews different leaders, and one of the leaders, and at the end she has what she calls rapid fire questions, where she asks them a few questions. And one of the questions she asked at the end of the session would be, what is the worst advice you have heard on leadership that people shouldn't follow, and what is the best advice you have heard in leadership? And one of them said the best advice they've ever heard on leadership is, don't disrespect someone unnecessarily, because they will go out to destroy you, even if it means destroying themselves. So that is a very, very good, I think for me, good lesson on leadership. Don't disrespect someone in public, because they will go all out to destroy you in return. So I think that's what happened. Jesus was continuously disrespecting them, and he kept winning the battles, because obviously when the scribes put a lot of laws on the people, which they themselves were not keeping, the people resented that, and then you could see that Jesus was systematically arguing or putting into argument points that dismantled whatever the teachings of the scribes and the Pharisees were. So the scribes were angry. Also, the people were happy with Jesus. So he had a gathering. He was getting it more popular because he could also heal. So Jesus was obviously winning the battles. He was getting more popular, but in the end, he lost the war because he died. Well, we can argue that was all in the plan. But for us as leaders, remember that disrespecting people will eventually destroy you. So find better ways. Don't put people on the spot. Don't ask them trick questions that they can't answer. Have a good day.